the Balls Podcast
with Mark Davis, Krista Meinhardt, Luke Rule, Jake Winnikine, Alan Tomasello, and Nick the Doc Skirkle. Good evening. It is Tuesday, September 24, 2024. I'm Mark Davis. I'm joined alongside my brother at the moment, Tony Cardoza. Krista Meinhardt will be joining us shortly. We are coming off week 3 of the. I know, man, long day. I have a long morning too, man. Long morning tomorrow. We were just coming off week 3, 24 hours removed. 2 primetime games last night between the Bills and the Jaguars, and of course the Bengals and the Commanders, which we'll talk about. A couple of those teams. And we're coming off week 4 of college football. And Tony, speaking of week 4 of college football, Miami Hurricanes now officially ranked number 7th in the nation. The Texas Longhorns,
let's go, baby,
number 1. How are you doing though? As the Hurricanes are looking good, the Miami Dolphins seem to appear to be a fish out of water right now.
Yeah. So Hurricanes, little hiccup, I would say, in the first half. Defense looked a little spotty in the first half. But if I'm correct, I believe we held them to 0 points in the second half, and we just put it on them. So, like I said last week, even though USF played Bama good, we were going to steamroll them, and that's what we did. We looked spotty at first, though. I was a little worried. But
your Dolphins do look like a little dead fish out of water. You know, no pun intended. You are a fish.
We just got to go get a quarterback, man. We got to do something. The third string bowler looked a little better than Thomas, in my opinion. But we got to do something. We got too many offensive weapons to not go make a move. It's still early in the season. We can still turn it around, but we got to go get a quarterback, and that's it.
You got a quarterback. You got the Goodwill Lamar Jackson. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you do. It's Pro Bowler.
Did they officially sign him? Is he officially signed?
He's starting.
Is he going to start this week?
Did they announce that?
I saw it all on Twitter just before this.
I don't mind that pickup. Get him out of pocket.
Don't worry, they'll have a UFL guy probably starting week 4 or week 5. But Chris, how are you doing, man? LSU Tigers, big win over the UCLA Bruins. The New Orleans Saints, tough loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. How are you feeling, man, coming off this?
Yeah, not gonna lie to you. Heartbreaking Monday for me. You know, Brian Kelly came out, confirmed what all the reports said was that Perk tore his ACL, so he's out for the year. Big loss there. Yeah. Waiting for South Alabama's true freshman running back to just put 300 yards on us. Fully talked to some of my LSU friends. Fully confident in losing that South Alabama game. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. And then, you know, you saw what happened when Eric McCoy went out of the game for the Saints. He's out 7 weeks. I saw today the Saints tried out, I think it was like 7 guards. So
Jesus.
It was a shit ton of guards that came and tried out for the Saints today. So, you know, it wasn't the best Monday.
And we're going to be talking,
Tuesday.
Of course, our 2 teams will be talking tomorrow as the rivalry in the NFC South. It will be kicking off this week. We'll talk about that. Yeah, boys, my Falcons, tough loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Some people like to blame the refs. I think that the refs are pretty good, pretty accurate. Yeah, did they miss a PI call? That wasn't what defined our game. I mean, yeah, did we punch it from the 1-yard line? But we had many missed opportunities all game long. And Kirk Cousins said it. We took the job. Like, we defeat ourselves, essentially. So, but the Texas Longhorns, number 1 still. Arch Manning looked pretty good in his debut as a starter. Some things needs to clean up for hopefully next year, or Quinn gets hurt again. Hopefully Quinn Ewers does play this week.
He's staying.
He's not starting.
He's the starter. Yep.
Yeah. Sark's already said it. It's Quinn's job. And that's fine. I thought Arch made some great plays, made some bad plays. That's a first year. Yeah, first game. I don't want him playing SEC play though. Not even against Mississippi State. I don't even want him playing against them because it's in Mississippi State. But boys, we're coming off a hot weekend. You know, some good ball that was played. I know Chris said that week 3 apparently was one of the lamest weeks in NFL's recent history. I thought there were some pretty good games. And speaking of good games, let's talk about one of the surprise teams, the Minnesota Vikings. Let's start off with Skull Nation. Sam Darnold, comeback player of the year, MVP at the moment is what people are trying to say. Are the Minnesota Vikings a September team, or are they a team that is going to prove us wrong down the road? I know it's a little overreacting, but that's the point of today's episode. What do you think about the Minnesota Vikings going down the road?
Tony, you take it away.
I'll start us off. So the
Sorry,
Vikings,
I'm trying to pull up their
No,
I mean, I'll go. It's fine. It's good. I was looking at the week 1 and week 2, but so week 1, I don't. I mean, who they play? They played the New York Giants, who we thought were going to go winless half the year.
That's where I think I had them.
Now, San Francisco week 2, that was a huge dub. Now they didn't play a healthy San Francisco, but
hey, they play them healthy enough, you know.
A win's a win.
But yeah, the Niners, they beat the Jets week 1, and they had the same team essentially for week 2. So,
but did you? I don't know if you all saw the viral video of like the defensive linemen on the Niners. There was no effort that they were giving.
That in week 2?
No, this past weekend.
What, the Niners?
Yeah, there was a video of like I don't even know who the player is, but he literally like snapped off the ball, hit the offensive lineman, and then that was it. No pass rush.
Well, I mean,
like there was just no effort.
But when it comes to the Vikings, though, man, like they're literally one of the best defenses in the league right now. They've held the Texans in check. They've held the Niners in check. Yeah, I get it. The Giants are the Giants, but Malik Neighbors didn't pop off against them. He's popping off the last 2 weeks. Sam Darnold is 8 touchdowns, the only quarterback with 8 touchdowns throwing. I mean, because some guys have total more than 8. And
didn't Josh Allen throw 4 last night? I mean, I think he's going to catch him pretty quick.
I mean, we're going to talk Josh Allen, but I mean, Sam Darnold though, Chris, man, I said it before the season. This is the best situation for Sam Darnold to prove he can start still. Kevin O'Connell, if anyone can turn around a quarterback, it's Kevin O'Connell, and you have arguably the best receiver in football.
Yeah, no, I mean the Vikings are looking good right now. I mean, I'm skeptical of who they've won against. I mean, like you said, the Niners, they were beat up beyond belief. The Giants week 1, and then the Texans. I mean, the Texans struggled against the Bears. Are the Texans really what we thought?
Yeah, I'm still not
the Texans really
Texans
what they were. Yeah, they struggle against the Bears.
I mean, I'm sold on the Vikings at the moment. I think with the Vikings, honestly, we got to forget they don't have Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson yet. So Addison got hurt, but TJ Hawkinson is not there. Aaron Jones looks like a refreshing Aaron Jones. He looks good.
Best situation for him.
Yeah, and the defense, this is what the defense did last year. They started off pretty good the first 11, 12 weeks for the Vikings, and then the defense sizzled out. And Brian Flores has got the boys playing at a high elite level. And like I said, Justin Jefferson's arguably the top receiver in the league when healthy, and he's looking amazing this year. So I think if Sam Darnold can do what he's doing and not turn the ball over, he's got 2 interceptions, but still a 4-to-1 ratio is pretty fucking good if you ask me. So I don't know, man.
Go into Green Bay, keep it competitive. You don't even have to win. Just keep it competitive. Green Bay easily has one of the top defenses in the league this year. And then
it's going to be a great game.
I'll buy into the Vikings.
Well, I don't know, Jules. They're not going to draft a quarterback in the first round. They have J.J. McCarthy. Forget JJ's on IR. So Vikings are not going to draft a quarterback anytime soon. They're pretty set for the future. Darnold's kind of what's supposed to be that bridge. He's only on like a 1 year, $10 million contract. So JJ, but this opens the door now for Darnold in the future. Now, like if he can
bring him Miami.
The Raiders. I know our boy Ali doesn't want to hear it, but I think it would be the Raiders thing to do to go get Sam Darnold coming off I don't even
talk
season.
About the Raiders. They didn't even look Devontae Adams' way this weekend. It cost me a fantasy. Was Antonio
Pierce talking about Devontae Adams when he said some guys had their own business decisions? So
no, they were talking about the DB that just was playing two-hand tag out there is what he was doing.
You saw what Devontae Adams said was that whole team was hoping that Jaden Daniels fell to them.
That was never going to happen. I told Ali, I think what happened was Atlanta fucked them when we went Michael Penix. I think Penix was going to be the guy they were targeting. Honestly, I thought Penix would have been the guy to LA instead of Brock Bowers, but I'm sorry, Las Vegas, not LA. But I mean, I don't know the Vikings, but we mentioned the Packers too. And Chris, we're going to talk this game tomorrow, but how about the Green Bay Packers? They're surviving without Jordan Love. They are 2-0 since he left. Now, is the AFC South shit? Is that maybe what it is? Or the Jaguar or the Colts and the Titans, are they just 2 shit teams? Or is fucking LaFleur coach of the year right now and actually fucking managing this team the right way?
No, I mean, LaFleur's doing what he needs to do. Like, he's not giving Malik Willis anything crazy to do. Hey, go out here. I mean, the team's really on the back of Aaron Jones right now.
No.
Jacob.
Sorry, Josh
Hey,
Jacobs.
don't take away from Wilson either. Wilson looks great as a 1-2 combination out there.
Yeah. The whole team's running the ball well. All three of them. I mean, you have Willis is running the ball. I mean, you have both running backs. I mean, Jacobs and like you said, Wilson. He got a big touchdown. I think that the creativity they're doing with Jaden Reed too, kind of moving them all over the field, that's pretty big. And Malik Willis is doing what Malik Willis was supposed to do. And actually, he's been pretty good at throwing the ball. They're not asking him to throw the ball 40 yards down the field.
No, drop
like
off,
Alan said.
Easy completions.
I think this week will prove a lot for both teams, honestly. But right now, I'm not gonna say Green Bay is surviving without. I think they're playing shit teams right now. I don't think Tennessee's great, and they're riding the backs of their defense. So I think that they're surviving because of shit teams, and I think that Vikings at home may have another blowout.
It's in Green Bay.
Is it in Green Bay?
It's in Lambeau.
It's in
Lambeau.
No. Okay, Vikings march into Lambeau and just have another blowout.
Well,
I think
they're Vikings, so they're going to row those little boats. They're going to row those boats all the way down to Wisconsin. And Sam Darnold's going to do Sam Darnold things. You know, maybe Colin Cowherd is saying Vikings to Super Bowl. That's when it sizzles out, like when they win it. I don't know if they're Super Bowl bound yet. You got to talk to me in like November, December, but I don't know, man. But the question is, what would you play Jordan Love? I mean, I wouldn't. I don't care. I don't care if it's the Vikings and you can go down 2 games. You have a whole season ahead of you. You've won 2. If you go 2-2, then you start.
Oh, you're talking about this week.
Yeah, this week. I mean,
oh no.
Watch him. I mean, if he's not fully healthy, I mean, he's not gonna be healthy all year.
I thought you meant when he's fully back.
Oh yeah. I think we lost Mark.
I think we lost Mark too. But I'll stand on it again. Green Bay is surviving because they're playing shit teams the last 2 weeks.
No, I mean, I get you. I mean, Tennessee, terrible. And then they pretty much just I don't even know how many carries they had against the Colts. But I'm sure it's up there.
It was a good amount.
Yeah. I mean, but like Mark said, I mean, LaFleur is doing what he needs to do. He's not pushing Malik. He's not pushing Malik to do anything crazy.
But what they're doing is they're managing the ball, right? First down, getting to a manageable 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3. They're getting Malik out of the pocket. That way, if nothing's there, he can make something happen with his feet to pick up the first downs. And that, at the end of the day, I know we're going to talk about it later, but Jaden Daniels was so effective. Geez. Look how many first downs they picked up, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, just by a bootleg, having them out of the pocket and having options. It was
that Bengals defense looked absolutely dog shit though.
I don't get it. How do they let that happen? And then
we talking about? Sorry, we talking about?
Sorry, we started talking about how Malik is surviving because I like what the play call is doing. You know, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5. They're getting Malik out of the pocket and allowing him to create first downs with his feet when necessary.
Defense looks good too, by the way, for the Packers.
Well, that's never been an issue with them.
It helps when your defense is going to turn the ball over on the plus 50, you know?
I guess it was a good thing getting rid of Darnell Savage and bringing in Xavier McKinney from the Giants, too. He looks like a soft safety. I mean, he's New York, but you know what I mean? Like, bringing over McKinney, he's got 2 interceptions in 3 games. It's pretty solid.
I mean, I almost feel like that's the overall highlight of this season is like, look how many players switch teams and it's thriving.
Mm-hmm.
No, like, yeah, I mean, sometimes you need scenery.
Yeah, the running backs. All the running backs are doing good.
It's the year of the running back and kickers.
I'm just glad Mr. Henry decided to show up today.
Well, let's talk about him. Did the Baltimore Ravens officially wake up? Did John Harbaugh listen to our show last week and realize, man, these fucking clowns know what they're talking about? And they were like, damn, like we just need to run with Derrick Henry, except Lamar Jackson. Is this the recipe for the Ravens going forward? Do they need to run the ball fucking 40-something times? Not all of Derrick Henry, but, you know, you have Lamar Jackson that can run the ball. You have your fucking backup running back. I'm blanking on his name at the moment, but you have him run the fucking rock, and then that sets up the play action. Yeah, Justice Hill, I'm sorry. So is this – did the Ravens officially wake up? Did they save their season, or are we still a little skeptical on the Baltimore Ravens? Because defense is still a little shaky.
No, they didn't wake up at all. I mean, yeah, they went up big, but I mean, look what that defense gave up in the fourth. I mean, they literally let Dallas come back to them. Dak, I mean, you saw CD on the sideline yelling at Dak that he's there all game. Like, there's definitely some feud happening. You saw Michael Parsons on the sideline, like just like over it. You can see him on his podcast on Bleacher Report. He's over it. And then you go up big. You let Dallas come back.
Jules.
Fuck no. Baltimore did not wake up. Show me something against the Bills.
Where's Luke when you need him?
I know.
I think he's in the chat. I can hear his computer type or his phone screen typing right now. No, I don't know if they woke up, but I think they found. I think, like you said, Chris, show it to us. I think what they're going to do is they're going to continue to show us, is this the right play right here? Derrick Henry had 25 carries, Lamar had 14, and Lamar threw the ball 15 times. So, like, and that, only 160 something yards, but they were a very good 160 something yards.
But look at who it worked against. Dallas. We can easily say from the past 2 weeks, Dallas run defense is terrible. They let Alvin Kamara run all over them. They let Derrick Henry run all over them. I mean, yeah, maybe that's the game plan they want it going forward, but I don't know. I don't trust it yet.
I think if they can figure it out, though, it'll open up the pass game, make it a little easier. I like the run read, the run pass option. I love the handoff to Henry up the middle, and if it's not there, Lamar ripping it out and getting to the edge. But I'm with Mark a little bit. That defense is a little bit shaky.
Yeah,
but they are known for blowing huge leads. What was it last season?
I sent a good picture.
Yeah. The last few years, honestly.
What was it? Was it at 28 points and like with a quarter and a half left against Miami last year?
I think you scored 28 unanswered, but it's 21 they were up.
It's and then we don't even have to go far. We can go to last weekend. Up 23-13, 9 minutes left against the Gardner Minshew Raiders. And you let them score 13 points on you in 9 minutes left. And what happened this weekend with the Gardner Minshew Raiders?
They got poo-pooed on.
By who, Mark?
The Red Rifle, or some people call it the Red Rocket. We don't know his nickname anymore, but yeah, like Jules tomorrow, Jules, we are going to shoot out little Malik Neighbors, Travion Diggs. I'll say it. Yeah, more blown leads than Malia Khalifa. Leads. So yeah, the Ravens are the Atlanta Falcons, but they just make it to the playoffs. That's the thing. We blow leads in the playoffs.
You call the Ravens defense P. Diddy. They blew a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of
people. Well, it was good knowing you guys. That might. No, but I don't know. Like, I want to see the Ravens do it. I know they're playing the Bengals in 2 weeks, so like, I think Jules is saying they have a bye week 6, so that's pretty early for them. Yeah, but you got to play the Bengals, who are hungry, which we're going to talk about soon, and then you have the Buffalo Bills. So yeah, that pass defense is the worst pass defense still in the NFL when it comes to yardage, and you're playing against the Buffalo Bills. By the way, a guy I've never given up on, Joshy Poo. I call Joshy Poo. His name's Josh Allen. He's coming in to the bank, and he's about to cash in this week. So, they're going to stop Keon Coleman, Shakir, Dalton Kincaid. Like, that's something I want to see this weekend. That's something we're going to talk about tomorrow night. But we'll see what the Ravens are going to do. And you guys have been talking about the Dallas Cowboys. It's a time for them to panic. Are they panicking right now?
Hey, if you're not on the boat, get off, like Dak said. He said you can get off.
Yeah, he said jump off now. Don't be here later.
But yeah, no, they definitely should be panicking. Jerry Jones is too worried about dick sizes. Parsons can't stop a run. Dak
you didn't hear that, Tony?
Nah, yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought something in the chat.
Yeah.
No,
and
Dallas
there's some feud there going between Dak and CD for sure.
No, Jules, you're right.
It's giving Stephon Diggs feelings.
Feelings, yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm getting from it. I mean,
That
and
boat
what
is very
sucks is
expensive.
We
sucks
saw
is
him.
they both got paid.
Well, so who was it? I forgot who was listening to. They were talking about they could have had Derrick Henry. They could have had a run game if they would have paid Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb earlier when they wanted to get paid. You could have afforded all three guys and still had Micah Parsons somehow. But instead, you wanted to dick around and wait for Dak to prove he's worth it. And you know you're going to pay him. Same thing with CeeDee Lamb. I don't know what CeeDee Lamb had to prove. He's already been proved he's number one in this league. You could have had Derrick Henry. So
He's
Jared Jones is
number one this fantasy season so far.
Well, that's still early on. I mean, he's had a couple big games, but
Jerry Jones was in.
No, let's talk about that. That one we gotta leave alone. But Dak Prescott. I'm sorry, Jerry Jones is a fucking clown. I mean, I said last year, go trade for Derrick Henry. He probably would have extended too if you would have traded for him.
I mean, it just shows how important when you skip off-season training is. Look at Dak. Look at Dak and CD. Look at Purdy and Ayuk. Look at. I mean, you could even look at Jamar and Joe in the very beginning. Like these connections aren't connecting like they did last year because these guys are sitting out.
Hey, speaking of Chase, just real quick since he said it, did anybody see that 3-legger first TD this weekend that cashed?
No, I didn't. What was it?
That last leg, he had 2 legs, $250 bet to win $117,000, and all he needed was Chase to score the first touchdown of the game. Thanks, coach. And 40-yard bomb to him, $117,000 cash out.
I wish it could happen to me.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to bet in my state, so I mean it's unfortunate. I'm glad I can't too. No, because I feel like I'd be broke.
You just do little $5 crazies. But Dallas can't guard a run. I mean, so far they have holes that are, just wide open. I was going to use Mia Khalifa, but
It's already been used.
Yeah.
Don't ever talk about my girl Lisa Ann. Those are fighting words. So.
I mean, some of those holes before they closed, Henry could have just walked through them. He didn't even have to run.
And that's a big motherfucker too. So
Yeah. I was just happy to see him throw somebody to the ground again. It's been a while, I feel like, since we've seen Henry just, yak somebody like that.
That stiff arm was pretty crazy.
It looked like he was running with a purpose.
It brought the Ravens PTSD back when he used to stiff arm guys in the playoffs. So they're like, that's why we paid him. That's why he's with the Ravens. No,
The question is, will they stick to what worked? Because I feel like people do it every season. They have a good offense that's running good, and then for some reason they want to change everything up against a different defense.
You know what the problem is, honestly, with the Cowboys, and I tried telling Alan this before he went bye-bye for the year. The problem is the defense sucks. Let's just throw it out there. The defense.
But did they have a top defense last year?
A lot of guys left. Deron Bland got hurt.
Right.
The Allen saving grace was we brought Mike Zimmer in. Okay, can you fucking bring him some talent on that defense outside Micah Parsons who can't stop the run? Diggs is overrated. He's an interception or bust usually. He's gotten better since that one year he got burnt or had all those interceptions. You brought Eric Kendrickson, who hasn't been fucking good in 3 or 4 years, hasn't been solid since he was on the Vikings. So can people start realizing this is not a fucking 11-12 win team until they can shore up that defense? It's a fucking 8-win team.
I'll be surprised if they win 8 games right now.
I had 8 and 9. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm not high on this
New York.
team.
I have New York winning Thursday.
Well, you're a Daniel Jones Kool-Aid drinker. You
It
drink.
doesn't. I could drink other stuff, but I could still see the Giants coming in and Malik Neighbors going off on the secondary.
Well, let's talk Malik Neighbors real quick since you brought his name up. We were going to save him for a little later, but let's talk Malik Neighbors. Is this guy? Is he saving Daniel Jones's career? Is he going to keep him around in New York? Or he looks like he's rookie of the year. I know Jaden Daniels is going to be up there. I think he's slightly behind Malik Neighbors just because Malik Neighbors has been more consistent so far.
They're going to give it to him because he's a quarterback.
Well, he needs to continue that play, though. That's what I'm saying. Malik Neighbors has been solid through 3 weeks, and those catches he fucking put I was about to say it. Jules said it. Those catches were. It's like he can grab anything out of the air. It's like God's handing him fucking the ball, and he's just out there. Hey, thank you, man. He fucking comes down like it's like he's in a circus, like he knows how to tightrope everything.
Yeah, the connection's there. He's clearly the number one. The question is, going forward, how much more he's going to get a lot more attention now.
Like Chris said, Chris said since day one, since we started doing draft stuff, number one receiver in the draft over Marvin Harrison Jr.
He was. And I still think he is. I think he was the best wide receiver in the draft class. He got robbed with, what is it, the Blinktoff or whatever the fuck you say it award. Hey, New York has their new OBJ down there. That's all I have to say.
Hopefully he stays there longer than OBJ
and
did.
Speaking of New York, for losing Barkley, I mean, Singletary's looked great thus far. He's looked great. I mean,
he's looked great to his standards. Let's imagine if Barkley was there.
I mean, yeah, but still.
Barkley is Offensive Player of the Year right now.
100%.
He is a dog. And
he's also behind the Eagles' O-line. I mean,
he would be fine.
Singletary would be doing the same thing in Philly.
No, he wouldn't. No.
I don't know. Hey, Singletary catches that ball and gets in the end zone.
Well, he would have gotten the end zone. He would have got the first. There was two guys on him. But I mean, it's the explosives of Barkley that it's the difference between Devin Singletary and Saquon Barkley. But hey, while we're talking about rookies, and shout out to you, Jules, you do have a dog out there in North New Jersey, what they call the New York Giants. Let's talk about the rookie quarterbacks, dude. These fuckers killed it. We're not going to talk much about Caleb because he didn't win, but hey, he looked better. He looked more comfortable in the pocket. He did have a couple interceptions, but he looked way better.
He threw the first touchdown pass out of the rookies.
Well, Jane Daniels he played Monday, so he didn't get a chance to. Jane Daniels did on his first drive. So, and speaking of Jane Daniels, this motherfucker, 91 completion percentage. I get not as many yards as Caleb Williams, but I think he had the most impressive week at the quarterback. I think out of all quarterbacks, the most impressive. Yeah, you could throw Andy Dalton in there. Joe Burrow had a really good game, even though people are going to talk about it because he lost. Joe Burrow had a really good game. You can say what you want. We're going to talk about him. I know there's a lot of haters out there still, but
they couldn't get in the end zone. How many red zones? They couldn't get in.
Okay, you scored 33 points, and you let Jaden Daniels in this offense that has not been doing anything all year, kicked 6 field goals last week, dropped 38 on you. It's defense too, but Jaden Daniels, I think quarterback of the week, if you ask me by my standards.
Yeah, I think you were going in and out, right? Was he going in and out, Chris, when we were talking about that?
Yeah.
Daniels, I loved Washington's scheme of getting him out getting to 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3, and letting him get out of the pocket, make the pass. Or how many first downs did he pick up on with his legs this weekend? He picked out a lot this weekend.
A handful.
Yeah, I mean, back to what I said about Neighbors during draft. Oh, Mark's gone again. During the draft, I said that Jaden was probably the best quarterback in this draft class, and he's proving to be it. And I mean, look at what the team Jaden got, and look at the team Caleb Williams got. Two vastly different teams, and Jaden's getting it done. And we got to see what he could do on his legs, and we got to see his deep ball throw.
Terry finally involved.
Yeah, which everybody was hitting Jaden that he can't throw the deep ball, which, I mean, that's what he was doing all his college career, was throwing the deep ball.
I said, Chris, and you were here last year. Tony, I don't know how much you were listening to last year before you started to come on the show, but I said last year the number 2 quarterback should have been the number 1 quarterback. And I said this year the number 2 quarterback should be the number 1 quarterback. And I think as of right now, I'm standing on a high mountain because I think I'm correct. Jaden Daniels, I get it. Caleb Williams, and shout out to you. You got your number retired at USC. What a legendary USC career, by the way. Good Heisman, and he quit on the team the second year. So, but I just thought Jaden Daniels was amazing at LSU both years. Not the credit he got the first year there, but amazing season still. And then year 2 killed it. And I get it. He did have Malik Neighbors, and he did have Brian Thomas Jr., but he kind of made Brian Thomas Jr. his last year there in LSU. Caleb did have Jordan Addison his Heisman year, and I just think Jaden Daniels does more. I think he's more explosive. I think his delivery of the ball is better than Caleb Williams, and I think if Jaden Daniels is on the Bears, hate to say it, they might be 3-0 in Chicago. I think they might be Houston. They lost by 6 points.
They got the defense for it, that's for sure. There's no offense. There's no offense.
Chris, you want to talk about the next rookie quarterback that kind of took you out of Survivor this week?
Dude, Dude, fuck
Bo Nix.
Did you take Tampa and Survivor?
I did, dude.
Oh,
there was
man.
no reason that, dude, Bo Nix looked absolutely terrible the first 2 games.
Yeah.
It just looked like once again, it looked like Russell Wilson with the Sean Payton offense. It looked like Sean Payton's offense is too much for a rookie, which I'm sure it is, but I don't know what they did. I don't know if it was Bo Nix or if it was Tampa's defense, but Bo Nix looked like an MVP quarterback. And I pissed myself.
Jules, we are gonna circle back to that game a little. We will talk Bengals in a little bit, and we agree that Burrow did have the better LSU team by far. But no, I think
he
was
won the national championship.
Yeah, that's why he won that's why he won it. Arguably the greatest one season in anyone's career.
Bo technically scored the first touchdown out of the rookies. It was a run, but it wasn't a pass. But he technically got in before Williams.
Did Jaden?
Well,
not score
Jaden had a rushing touchdown.
That is true. Week 2
against Tampa. Yeah. Against Tampa, week 1. But no, I thought Bo Nix was good. I think he was part of it. I mean, he ran the ball pretty well, 5 yards of carry, and he threw the ball pretty good, 25-36 for 216. Get no touchdowns, but no interceptions. He was pretty accurate. Good to see Cortland Sutton back there doing something. Chris, I mean, yeah, I think Bo Nix. I think he's going to be successful in this league. I'm not saying he's going to go win the Super Bowl or anything or be, deep playoff runs, but I think he's going to be a good quarterback in this league. A good 10-year starter.
Did they look good, or did Tampa just have one of those Tampa games? They're due for it 3 or 4 times a year where they just are awful.
I think it was a little bit of both. But I mean, it takes, even if your defense sucks, it takes at least skill to override that,
See, Dom knows. Bo's a solid guy,
Well, I mean, through the whole draft class, I mean, we all were saying Bo is good. Bo Nix just wasn't one of those quarterbacks that I think was going to start week 1 and do great. He's going to have to develop a little bit.
I mean, he's going to have to. Yes, I agree there. But I think he played good. The fucking Bucks went into Detroit and they shut down that high power offense. And I get it. Like, they're going to have their moments. But I'm not high on Tampa's defense. I really wasn't all last year, even though they somehow played good at key moments. This year, they played the Commanders, but Jane Daniels did look good at times against them. And yes, I decided to shut Detroit down, but you went into Tampa Bay. It's not like if this was at Mile High, I'd understand a little bit. But you went into Tampa Bay. You came on the road, and that heat, that environment, Baker Mayfield, who was hot, and Godwin, who was hot, and Mike Evans needs to wake the fuck up if they want to be a competitive team in Tampa. But I don't know, man. Maybe Bo Nix, like I said, they were a 7-win team last year with Russell Wilson, whoever else was quarterback. So maybe the Broncos just do wake up. Maybe this was the game.
It could be the game. I mean, everyone says it around the league that Sean Payton has one of the hardest offenses to comprehend. I mean, so having a rookie start, you already know is going to be rough in the beginning. And
let's move on to a real question. Just the real New Orleans Saints, they 2 weeks in a row, 40-plus games, looked fucking fantastic against the Panthers, looked good against the fucking Cowboys, and then they play the Eagles, who got upset against the Falcons, and then you're at 3 points for a majority of the game. You allow your 2 secondary members pick each other, and Dallas Goedert's run down the sideline for 60 yards. So is this what we expect the New Orleans Saints to be? Or is this what we're going to get going forward with the offense?
I mean, look, there was no reason for the Saints to lose this game. Like you said, it was 3-0 entering the fourth quarter. I mean, the Saints had 2 turnovers, a punt block. I mean, the Saints had every opportunity to win this game. The thing that killed us was Taysom Hill out and Eric McCoy getting out in the very beginning. Taysom Hill, big part, because there was I think there was 2 4th and 1s that we tried to go for. Foster Moreau completely botched a block, which Taysom Hill would have been in there. He knows how to block these guys. And then just Eric McCoy, I mean, there was a time where we had 2 offensive linemen run into each other. It was rough.
Oh, and also shout out to Jalen Carter, the Popka boy. Getting a little feisty on the sideline too, Chris. That Popka boy was about to come for your Who Dat Nation out there. He was ready to fight.
Yeah, no, I mean, Fangio did exactly what he needed to do. They were stopping the run. They were putting six defenders on the line with 2 linebackers crashing in, and the offensive line literally. Do you think Hill is not used enough? No, I think Hill is used. I think Hill is used perfect enough.
Well, he didn't play last game.
He didn't play last game, and that's what hurt us. Hill's one of those players when he's on the field, a defense has to pick up on him. So even if he's not getting the ball, he's affecting the play.
Yeah, game plan.
Because he can do anything. So he's one of those players that if he's off the field, it hurts them. But I forgot what I was about to say. Oh no, I mean there's this guy that I watch on YouTube. He breaks down all the Saints games, and there was plenty of opportunities that Chris Olave or Rashid were open. It was just they didn't have enough time for Derek Carr to sit back and throw it. The offensive line was getting fucking smacked once our center went down.
He didn't have as much time this week for sure as he did week 1 and 2.
No, and all credit to Fangio. He knew exactly what to do, what to scheme up, and he sent pressure all game.
I mean, Chris, I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, this is not like I'm not saying they're going to score 12 points every week, but this is the offensive expectations. I thought like you guys are going to struggle. Your O-line, I don't know how Penning even looked. I know Penning looked good the first 2 weeks. I don't know how old Trevor was performing this week. And I just don't like. I mean, I love Olave, Rashid. He's electric, but can Derek Carr give him the ball? Like, which Derek Carr we're getting? I don't know. I feel like you guys are going to be a roller coaster this year. I'm not saying now you guys are going to be top 10 like you thought they were going to be, but I think y'all are going to be about a 9-win team or so, and that's where you guys are going to hover around. In this division, yeah, you can do that with 9 wins. Maybe you can win it this year, but I don't know. This offense, the defense is amazing. I'm not going to say anything about the defense. It's the offense that's going to be your Achilles heel if you guys can't figure it out. If Derek Carr can't wake up, if the O-line can't stay healthy. I mean, I know about O-line issues. The Falcons just lost 2 guys too, so I understand that pain and that suffering.
Injuries this year is just stacking up
It's
after
terrible.
another, man.
It's
for
terrible
every
this year.
No, I mean this next game against the Falcons is going to be a huge game for Clint Kubiak. Really, what's he going to be able to do? What's he going to be able to scheme up to get out of this pressure of the offensive line? Because without Eric McCoy, we're screwed.
I was about to say, Jules, if you meant Gabe Davis was on your team, I would have told you to stop playing fantasy football if you're starting. But you did correct yourself though.
Mark,
I
do have one question for you, and it's more of a statement. I think at the beginning when you were talking about the Falcons game this weekend, and how the PI isn't what lost you the game. I think what a lot of people's comments was, if the game was reversed and that was
it's called.
It's called. And I think that's what everybody's bitching about, right? Is it didn't lose you the game, right? But if it was Patrick Mahomes throwing that ball, there's a flag probably 10 out of 10 times.
I mean,
I agree.
Look at week 2 when Cameron Britt fucking barely touched the Chiefs wide receiver.
He ran him over.
No, he ran him over. Stop. No, he didn't. He did not run him over. You can look at it.
Don't get me wrong.
First off, I don't even know what the fuck you want a defensive player to do when he's running to attack the ball. The wide receiver is backpedaling and runs into him.
Jules,
if we want to play that game, then if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm not telling the wide receiver to catch the ball. Run into the cornerback. Just get the flag.
Well, he was back, but the thing was he was attempting to jump. That was the thing.
No, the wide receiver is backpedaling for at least 3 yards.
Hey man,
but when the ball was received, he was going up.
Both of them were going up. Both of them were attacking the ball at the high
he was
point.
coming forward. He was still coming forward.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't So according to even receivers, like guys I've said on the show, corners and Rex Ryan as defensive coach, it's a bad rule. But you can't run and barrel through someone. You have to be playing it yourself and have the dominance. That's the issue.
The one this weekend with Atlanta, man.
No, it's a flag. I agree.
It was plain as day in like live. It was, you didn't have to wait for the replay. You could see it live.
It's a flag. And then I hate to say, like, I have a Chiefs buddy in my office. He's like, well, they gifted you 30 yards. Well, those were 30 yards that were flags. There's a horse collar. Now I get the OPI was not. Oh, sorry, the DPI on that next try was not DPI. That was OPI. Now that was a makeup call. They gave us that as a makeup call. But I texted Chris. when they called that roughing the passer on Chris Jones, by the way, that was not roughing the passer. There was a fucking PI called on the sideline, and Chris was like, "Well, damn, you got the roughing the passer call." I was like, "Yeah, I did," but the PI call would have gave us better yards first off, and that wasn't roughing the passer.
That in.
Chris, I'm talking a different one. But no, well, maybe we'll do some stupid fucking run when we need inches and we go 10 yards to the left to get a fucking inches. So we didn't lose because of the ref. We lost because our fucking coordinator, Zach Robinson's a dumb dipshit at the end of the game. He says, hey, you need 1 fucking yard. By the way, the run game hasn't worked all fucking day. And let's go on 3rd and 2, run the ball. Why not just do a play action, have Kyle Pitts or Drake London leak out? That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. So it's just bullshit calling, and the O-line looked bad, but in the run game never got going. I do like Kirk Cousins, though. He is progressing. He is getting better. He looked a lot more comfortable in the pocket. He's moving better. So, Chris, you better watch out this week.
Yeah, you're saying – so, Jules, you're saying another give-me game for them to go 4-0 this week?
I don't – you could throw Daniel Jones in there. I think healthy Jones or healthy Herbert, healthy Bosa, and Derwin James, I'm picking the Chargers to win or the Chiefs to win.
Yeah.
I'm not picking the Chargers. They have no offense. Like, it's J.K. Dobbins or nothing. Herbert has not looked good all year. He's looked
Herbert
manageable.
hasn't looked good in 2 years.
Chris is a believer in him still, right?
Oh, no. Don't tell me that, Chris.
No, I'm not a believer in Herbert.
Oh, I thought you were on him last year.
He's a believer in New Orleans blowing that out this weekend, though.
Yeah,
that's what he's a believer in, baby.
Well, let's talk about a team he does believe in, and that's the quarterback.
Let's not talk about it, okay? Let's not talk about it.
Because Jake in the Mass in the Discord what's the excuse for Joe Burrow? I thought last night there was no excuse. Joe Burrow played a great game.
He definitely did play a great game. There was a couple times where it was 3rd down. He definitely could have converted. I'm not putting any blame on Joe, but there's a couple times that offense could have scored. And
wait, I want to answer Jules' thing. I want to say Jules' thing real quick. Herbert had different coaches because the Chargers weren't performing. That falls on the quarterback as well. If you're playing at a great level and you're winning the playoffs, your coach ain't going to get fired. It goes both ways. Coaches suck, but you also got to perform too.
Struggles in the damn red zone for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, exactly.
It could have been a huge shootout. They still, with losing, was letting up 38 points. They had 3 red zone visits that came up empty-handed with touchdowns. They still won the game by 14.
Yep, that's what hurt them was red zone, and then that defense looked fucking atrocious. Washington was doing whatever they wanted.
In my opinion,
pretty good the first 2 weeks, so I don't know what happened.
In my opinion, last night's game, you throw the defense out the window. If they just get in the end zone, they win by 14, even giving up 38 points. They offensively were able to do whatever they wanted until they got to the red zone.
T. Higgins he got 6 targets, had a couple catches, so it's good to see T. Higgins back. But yeah, defense looked horrible. I agree with you, Jules. They do need a lifeline. The Bengals, they better win this week because Shannon Sharp has already said they're losing. And
who they got this week?
They're at Carolina in the Red Rifle. He knows the Bengals, so he's playing against the guy that plays.
I can't wait to talk about that.
He doesn't know the Bengals. He knows the Bengals from 10 years ago.
Come on, dude. He is a Bengal at heart. He's got red hair. They are an oranges team. Like he is a fucking.
This is a whole new team that he's played on. But no, I mean that O line is fucking terrible again. And then they just lost. What's his name?
Trent Brown
for the year. Gone.
He's done for the year, right?
And now you're playing that raw rookie.
He looked like shit also. So
yeah, but now you're playing another Popka boy. No, another Popka boy.
Yeah, another Popka boy. Hendrickson looked like he was playing banged up last night, I think, for sure.
He's been banged up the last couple of years, to be honest.
I fucking hate watching I love the Bengals. I hate watching the Bengals because I see Hendrickson play and I just punch myself because I'm like, how the fuck do you let the Saints let him walk?
Wait,
like,
you punch yourself here?
I punch myself to feel physical pain.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say
how do you let him walk?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this live, but he after that 4th year with the Saints, he was back in Apopka, and I was playing. We were in a bowling league, and he was up there buying a lot of stuff. And dude, he was done. He was about to retire until the Bengals offered him that contract. He was done. He didn't want to do it anymore.
Shit! Breaking news. I'm going to clip this. Breaking I think news. That I'm clipping
that. Insiders here.
Yeah,
he was about to retire.
He was telling me that he was done with how much work. I don't think us as working people realize how much work those guys have to put in.
No.
Get the fuck
not
out
even
of here.
not even work. I'm talking about like eating, right? He said how many calories he has to eat every day is a freaking
No, don't get me wrong. Like
stuff.
what they have to do is it's a lot. Like don't get me wrong, but they have time to do it during the day because that's what they do. They have to go work out. They got to take care of their body. It's a 24/7 job. Like you can't cheat the system there. But I get what Chris is he's laughing at because like for me and Chris being military, we used to travel, we used to deploy. Like Tony, you're working almost every day this week or every month. I mean, like so
I have 3 days off this entire month. That was it.
Yeah, Jules, I think Brady or someone mentioned how like being on the road is kind of like a deployment, right? So, which I think it was Brady that said that a couple years ago, and I wanted to smack the piss out of him when he said it.
Chris, you think he was
Goes.
unhappy in New Orleans?
I mean, he probably was. He was in New Orleans when we sucked. I don't think he was happy in New Orleans. New Orleans is great, and everybody loves it. All
Wasn't
the players,
last year the big year?
I think so. I mean, I just hate that. I hate that we evaluated him wrong. I don't know who evaluated him and let him walk.
He wasn't used that much either in New Orleans, was he? He wasn't a starter. He came in and out.
No, which is like so. The big thing now too is like, which I don't understand what Dennis Allen's doing is that Cameron Jordan played 20 snaps this weekend. 20 snaps. It's Chase Young and Granderson on the edge. Like I get that he's old, but you still can't let him be on the sideline.
He still has the juice to play more than just the third downs or like the key pass rush situations.
How about the fall off of Chase Young?
I don't know.
I think he's been great so far. I mean, we haven't faced.
I just don't think he's been as hyped as he was coming out of college.
No, I mean he had a rough last year. I mean, he played great for the Niners in the playoffs. He had a rough season. He led the team in sacks in the playoffs.
No, I think Chase Young's been a little solid. Speaking of guys that hasn't been solid, it's time for old sunshine talk, and that's Trevor Lawrence out of Duval County.
Go ahead, Chris.
No,
he's shaking his head already.
Did you see that Doug Peterson came out today and said they're thinking about a quarterback change?
And that's my question: do they already regret it?
Fucking paid this man so much money, and now 3 games in, you're like, hey, we might change this out. Are they trying to like not have a New York Giant situation?
I will tell you this because I'm not going to say it out loud, Jules, but the reason wwhy he's still playing is because he does have that playoff win where he was hot the second half of the season. And then last year they did start off 8-3 and they finished 9-8. That's why he got paid, because they were hoping he was going to, relight that up and go back to that second half of the season. But
isn't it Jones behind him?
It's Mac Jones behind him. Yeah, he did play, got -1 points in fantasy this week if you had him. Hopefully you didn't. But it is unfortunate.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, for the Jaguars because this is going to get Doug Pearson fired. That's the question Jake asked in Discord. Is he going to be the first coach fired? And I think Trevor Lawrence is playing that way to get Dougie P fired, the guy that actually saved his career because Meyer almost drove him into the ground. So I just don't understand what's going on with Trevor Lawrence. He looks like ass. I'm just going to say he looks like ass.
I'll tell you right now, Bill Belichick is going to look good in blue.
And by the way,
do they have teal?
Teal blue, and that's the report by Sports Illustrated is he's got connections to Jacksonville apparently.
Hey, yeah, call him up.
I don't know, man. Just he looked bad. You guys think so? This is kind of becoming a theme here tonight. Look at all these max contract guys that just signed that we're talking about. They get their money and then don't deliver.
Or do they get the money and they never delivered? They never delivered when they got the money. Let's just be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Well, look at how many guys we're talking about tonight that just got freaking bags.
But they got bags and they weren't doing anything to get the bags. And this goes to Jordan Love.
Dak had a good year last year. Come on.
Out of anyone that's deserved it, it's Dak. Dak's deserved it. And I'll give Burrow.
I don't even like Dak.
But Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones a couple years ago.
Great into the season.
Guess what? So did Trevor Lawrence. So did Trevor Lawrence. And that's what I'm saying. But they didn't do anything. They won one playoff game, and you just give them max contract after one season.
Okay, but the difference between you can't compare Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor
Yes,
Lawrence
you
started
can.
from day one. Jordan Love has not started from day one.
No, he's
Last year was his first year that he started.
But Trevor Lawrence had Urban Meyer year one, and I'll give him that pass. But then year two, he went to the playoffs and beat the fuck out of the Chargers, even though he's part of the reason why they were down. But he fucking started 8-3 last year, and then Jordan Love played 17 games. 19 got the playoffs. You paid him max money. So you're saying he's already worth the max money off 17 or after 19 games.
If he can stay healthy, I think it's going to be you're going to have another Favre, Rodgers, and Love in Green Bay.
I'll tell you this right now. Week 1 against the Eagles, he didn't look good. He had a couple of splash plays, and I get a short sample size for the year, but he looked pretty rough week 1.
We'll see what happens.
That's the problem though now is that you're not going to sign a good quarterback for below average money or average money. No one's signing that deal. If you want to sign a quarterback, you have to sign them to what's going to be max money for another quarterback next month to blow that contract out of the water. That's just how it is. That's how it's
keeping
going.
Up with inflation, but nobody else's employers are. Just the NFL's.
Well, maybe the owners need to go out there and say, "Hey, you're not worth the money."
You remember they have to eat 5,000 calories. Their life's so hard they don't have to cook food.
Yeah, shout out to you, Tony.
No.
I mean, it's just unfortunate. The Jaguars are going.
Chris, it's a lot of work, bro. It's a lot of work.
I don't want to hear it. These fucking pro athletes pay fucking chefs to cook all their food. I'll eat all the food. You got to think about the time
Henderson wasn't doing that. I'm sure he was on like what? He was on his rookie contract. He was making.
You know how hard it is to eat, Chris.
$3 million.
Eating is rough,
dude.
Man.
If a chef puts food in front of me, I'm eating it.
Well, speaking of eating, is Bryce Young going to ever eat ever again? Like, I mean, hey, let me tell you, Tony, what Chris and me has an argument since the last.
Oh yeah,
since
I'll get you to decide this one. Here we go.
Okay. Last year, before any game of play, I said C.J. Stroud should have been number 1. We weren't arguing like at the time who was going to be better in their careers. Bryce Young came into a team that was better the year before the Texans. They were the 9th pick, so they weren't number 1. They traded to number 1. So let's not forget. They gave DJ Moore and whatnot. Like C.J. Stroud had nobody. Nico Collins wasn't Nico Collins yet. Tank Dell was a rookie that no one knew of. Dalton Schultz, okay. Running game sucked. I mean, Devin Singletary, he's not good. But fast forward this year, they bring in Leggett. They had Adam Thielen last year. They bring in Deontay Johnson, by the way. Andy Dalton threw a touchdown last week. Andy Dalton came in week 1. Or his first week, and fucking lit up the league. And by the way, the O-line has not been a problem this year for the Carolina Panthers. It's Bryce Young looking like he can't throw a fucking pass 10, 15 yards. Like, sorry, he doesn't have Alabama talent, so it's sometimes a little hard to do that. So I don't think it was the whole situation wasn't the Carolina Panthers. Some of it was. A lot of it is Bryce Young. I think majority of it.
Yeah, I think it's a shared problem. You're also talking about a vet that spent 30 years in the NFL coming into play.
C.J. Stroud this year would play with the Panthers. He would be fucking balling. I'm sorry, he would be. He would be.
The Houston Texans is a better team than Carolina is right now, and C.J. Stroud is not balling.
What about last year?
What about
last year when they were the second worst team coming into the season? They were the second overall pick.
And when we did all our draft takes, did we not say that the Houston Texans literally crushed the draft?
I said though, Nico Collins was not that guy yet until last year.
Yeah, but he was that guy.
He had 500 yards the year before.
Guy. Okay, but he ended up being that guy, wasn't he?
Bryce Young was there. I don't think Bryce Young does that. I don't think Bryce Young turns the Texans around last year. I really
maybe
don't.
Not, but I think Bryce Young might be better.
Can I tell you what Bryce Young's going to be?
A backup.
Blake Bortles.
Because Blake Bortles at least Blake Bortles got the AFC Championship. At least he did that.
He's going to get there. Bryce Young will get there. Andy Dalton's going to take him. I mean, what are those baby carriers? Put them in a
after that though, that slammed the door on it, man. I mean, like you need it. You needed Andy Dalton to have a bad game.
I need to see Bryce Young on a different team.
He's not going to go to a different team and start.
Look at what Sam Darnold's doing. Look at what Baker did. I mean, look at these quarterbacks that switch teams.
Baker balled in Cleveland. He got to the playoffs and won a playoff game. So let's not sit there and say that we got to see Baker on the team. Baker did it in Cleveland.
What's your deal?
Yeah, but look at what Baker did in Carolina.
Good.
Look at what Baker did in Carolina. Why is Baker on the Tampa?
He should be
Why
with
is Sam
Cleveland.
Darnold on the Vikings?
He should be with Cleveland. Cleveland decided, hey, let's pay Deshaun Watson and not trust Baker Mayfield. That's a Cleveland issue.
Why did two of the top quarterbacks that were on Carolina on different teams right now?
Darnold did bad with the first team he was on.
It's gonna be it's gonna have to be an injury or something. Something happens for Bryce to get another shot somewhere else. So
I'm sorry, these Alabama quarterbacks just don't play good ball in the NFL level. They don't. Tua's probably
Tua's great. He just can't stay healthy.
Dude, Tua's good. I mean, he's good from September to November, and then December and January hits. And
I get all that, right? But if you look at
he's in Miami. He's a summer body.
If you look at it, right? Look at how bad our offense has been the last 2 weeks, and how good it is when Tua's in there. So Tua's something. You can't deny that. You got to remember, these guys are backups, right? I get it. They're still fucking NFL athletes. They're still the best of the best.
They still have to eat 5,000 calories.
Maybe what this one show I watched.
Chris is never gonna forget that. By the way,
well, maybe it's
I left New Orleans because it was too much to eat. Couldn't do it anymore.
I showed Chris
too much food.
I showed Kristen a chat or a video in the Discord. There's a Dolphins fan that I watch. He's playing Mike McDaniel. He says Mike McDaniel is too flashy. He doesn't. I mean, I get it. It's not Tua, but you have to have a plan. You're playing Skylar Thompson, and the fact is, you get to the ball. You get to the goal line a few times, and Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill doesn't touch the ball at all. Two separate drives.
Here's what I'll blame Mike McDaniel for one thing, and everybody does this. I feel like in the NFL, every head coach, every offensive coordinator. Why, when you get a different quarterback in, keep the same fucking game plan and see what happens? Let them try it. But they always change the damn game plan. Keep the same game plan, the same shit you would have done with Tua in, and see what happens. But they don't. They change it.
Well, speaking of game plans that didn't change from last year, the Buffalo Bills, when Joe Brady, Chris's old offensive coordinator from LSU, took over. James Cook gets touches a lot. Josh Allen, I heard he likes to throw turnovers, but I guess since now it's bad teams, turnovers he shouldn't be doing, but he did last year. So the double standard from Jake and Luke, very, very funny in my opinion. Josh Allen's playing at an MVP level right now. The Buffalo Bills, the real deal. Do they continue it? Are they just a September team as well?
Chris, I'm going to say it, and then I'm done. I got $5,000 on Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. Made the bet last night.
Oh, shit.
Here we go. Made the bet last night.
Is that all your money, or did you guys do that shared money?
No, all me.
Damn.
You're going to be the biggest Josh Allen fan for the year.
Absolutely. They look unfucking stoppable.
Before we talk about Josh Allen, can we talk about how fucking slow DeMar Hamlin is?
I was thinking the same thing.
Can we talk about how my 2-year-old daughter probably runs faster than him?
Do you think he was just pumped, right? Like I don't think he wasn't.
Well, he might have not been pumped to blood because he's dead, but
he can't be that. He can't be that. He looked horrible running the ball, but he can't be that slow because he's got to keep up with these receivers, right? And some of these receivers are fast.
Well, I mean, but congrats to him. He got his first career interception.
No, he didn't. He got a gift that was bow wrapped. It was just hand delivered.
Right place, right time.
Hey, stat line says interception. That's what you're safety for. Safeties are.
I eat 300 calories a day, and I could have caught that ball.
Hey, safeties are there to make plays when the ball's overthrown or balls are tipped in the air. That's what a safety is there for.
Did you see when he caught it? He looked surprised that he caught it. He went down to it.
Well, he didn't realize Christmas was September 23rd and not December 25th. That's what it was. No, but the Buffalo Bills, I said it, man. The defense wasn't an issue last year with all the injuries. It really wasn't. All those guys that are hurt, they're not there no more. Matt Milano, big loss still. I agree with that. Yeah. But you forget your coach is Sean McDermott. He's a defensive specialist. He knows how to coach a defense. You got Joe Brady. By the way, no one's talking about him, but coach candidate maybe next year. This guy is turning around the Buffalo Bills offense. Josh Allen is playing smarter, more mature, And I think he needed that growth. You had to get Stephon Diggs to grow, and you need to get rid of Stephon Diggs to show you learned how to grow and that you can do it.
You pulled out the cancer.
Hey,
Got it out of here.
What team fired Joe Brady again?
Carolina Panthers.
Oh, okay. Just want to keep talking about how trash of a franchise that is.
I don't know, man. Chris, I'm telling you, and Jake had my back last night. I've been the biggest closet Bills fan going in. This is the 5th season I've been on their little wagon. Still, I have a foot on their wagon, Detroit's wagon, and of course Atlanta. I'm steering that wagon. But I don't know, man. This Bills team is just they look special.
No, they do. And looking at their schedule, I mean, they pretty much have a cakewalk.
Well, Jake said next 3 weeks is the important games for them to decide how they feel about them.
I mean, what? The Ravens, Texans, and Jets? I mean, maybe the Jets game.
Texans, too.
But
Texans are –
no, how the Texans have looked? Come on.
They look bad. Not going to lie.
Just saying, do not sleep on those Buffalo Bills. And one last topic, because we mentioned –
hold on real quick. Can we talk about Luke said Keon Coleman was trash the other night?
Wasn't he a big believer? Oh, wait. Didn't we have an argument going into the season about Donnie Mitchell and Keon Coleman? I get Donnie Mitchell hasn't had any success. But, God, hey, guarantee if Donnie Mitchell's on Buffalo Bills, he's probably getting catches because Anthony Richardson sucks. So
he does suck.
I'm not blaming Donnie Mitchell there, but I thought it was funny that everyone was sucking off Keon Coleman during the draft night, the mock draft, and now he sucks. It's So.
I'm missing my doc's lecture about Anthony Richardson.
Oh, I said it for him. He sucks, dude. I mean, Richardson said the NFL is easier. Well, I think he meant to say it's easier to throw interceptions because he's
I agree with real quick before we get off Buffalo. Allen has matured a lot. He's not making a lot of dumb passes. He threw a lot of interceptions last year.
But I hate that. I mean, he wins you more games than he loses you games. People forget that.
But he threw a ton of interceptions last year.
Number one overrated player.
But he's going to get you.
But he also was rated top 10 in the NFL, too.
He's going to get me a Super Bowl championship this year.
Did you see that, Tony? Josh Allen was rated. How much to pay out?
How much to pay out for that ticket?
And while you're looking at that, Tony, what we were going to say was the double standard, right? They said Josh Allen's a top 10 player voted in the NFL, but he also is the number one overrated player. So I don't understand.
Both voted by NFL players.
Yeah, makes no sense. Makes no sense that how the logic works in the NFL. Tony, while you're doing that, we're going to hype up the next topic because it's the last NFL topic before we go to college football. Aaron Rodgers is back. I'm just going to say it. Aaron Rodgers is back. Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen might run this league this year with Patty. But how do we feel about Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, boys?
That offense Thursday night just looked in sync. It looked incredible. Yeah, chef's kiss. It looked beautiful. It looked like Aaron Rodgers was in control. He did not want his head coach hugging him. He said, "Get the fuck off me. Don't touch me."
32K. 32.5.
Yeah. We going on a podcast cruise if you win that?
Hands down. We might all get one. We might get one room for all four, or however many we got. But we'll do one of the suites, one of the big suites.
Well, maybe that 32K you can get merchandise finally.
I'm funding merchandise. I haven't even signed the contract yet. What are we talking about here?
That was a shot at Chris. We were supposed to get merchandise.
I'm not even in the intro.
You got the one kid that was fucking picking up his life and moving and said, "Hey, can you make merchandise for us?"
Well, you volunteered to do it.
We're almost done.
But back to Aaron Rodgers though, Tony. Aaron Rodgers is the real deal, and I think he's back. No, not back.
He's back for a short period of time.
Ooh,
what injury?
Another Achilles?
Yeah. I don't know about Achilles, but something's gonna happen.
It's about working hard. Aaron Rodgers works hard.
Yeah,
he takes a lot of mushrooms.
That's a lot of work, Chris. That's a lot of work.
He spends 72 hours in the dark by himself. That is a lot of work.
I'm not gonna lie. I would not do that. I would not do that.
If he stays healthy, do I think they get him to anywhere contentions of going to the Super Bowl? No.
They make a playoff push.
They make a playoff push. Do they make a playoff win? I don't know. But I think he's going to be done by week 10.
Week 10.
That's an odd week. Who they playing week 10?
No. I'm saying if he's going to get hurt, it's going to be before.
What's funny is if they said, hey, Aaron Rodgers going to Miami, Tony'd be stroking him off right now.
I'd have a jersey on order right now, Amazon, while we're on this
Tony
podcast.
would buy stock in mushrooms.
He'd be giving it to him. He'd be like, here's the mushrooms, dude.
What cruise line are we taking, though?
I mean, we did Royal Caribbean this year, didn't we?
Yeah, that was fun. Royal Caribbean.
Whatever. Buyer's choice.
Royal Caribbean.
Hey, well, Chris, you'll get a private cabana one of the days. He might get a cabana for all of us.
The private cabana was.
Shout out to the server, dude.
The server.
Still got that. I still got that one photo.
Yeah, Mark was in love. What was she?
Probably 300 pounds.
No. Chris, she was beautiful, man.
What was she? Do you remember, man?
That's a switch up for you, Mark.
Was it Sweden? No, I don't know where it was from. But yeah, she was beautiful. The last night we were there, I tried asking for her number, and she said, I was like, all right, well, hey, can't shoot me for trying, But let's move to the college land, and that's because Alan, our local boy from Tennessee, he says he's a Tennessee Volunteers fan. Are they playing themselves into, hey, we're the best team in college football talk right now, or are we not believers yet? Because some people like to question their opponents and the lack of skills players on that team.
All right, listen, I just want you to say, or want everyone to know that like Oklahoma had Tennessee locked down. If Oklahoma had a competent quarterback, that game would have been very competitive.
And he's benched, by the way, now.
They have a true freshman starting now.
Yep, Arnold got benched.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if Tennessee just had a bad night, but Oklahoma's defense had Tennessee locked down in the very beginning until offense just couldn't do anything. And defense probably was like, what are we doing?
I think Tennessee's played amazing. What I think was Chattanooga. They played Kent State. I think it was Kent State, right? And then, of course, North Carolina State and Charlotte. And then they've played, of course, Oklahoma. Always good seeing Oklahoma get smacked around.
They got a bye week this week?
Yeah, they have a bye week. They have a tough schedule.
Off week. We don't call it bye weeks in college.
Yeah, it's off week, Tony, and it's not 2-minute warning. It's 2-minute timeout. College,
come on.
They think they're better than everybody else.
If you want to get on the podcast, you got to use the right language, and also eat 4,000 calories. It's rough work being here.
No, but I don't know. I mean, like, they've done their job, and that's what you're supposed to do as a great team. They're supposed to blow teams out, but I want to see them play against Georgia and Alabama, which they do this year. I want to see that. Are they better than Ole Miss? Are they better than Texas? Are they better than Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Miami? The top 7, I think all top 7 teams have a legitimate case to say, hey, we're the best team.
I don't know. Miami, I love Miami, but
Tony, I was there last year.
Yet.
I understand that feeling. I had that same feeling last year until we had to go play some teams when Texas beat some teams later on. We did lose Oklahoma, but I understand that feeling.
Virginia
it's weird
Tech
saying you're back.
It's
weird saying you're back. I get it. It's that hesitation. You don't want to jinx yourself, but
Virginia Tech is ass this year, but they usually play us tough.
It's in Virginia Tech, right?
It is in Miami.
Oh, Miami. Okay.
Friday night
lights. But no, I don't know, man. Alan thinks that they're the best team, and we had to ask it. I mean, he's obviously a homer.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it 2 weeks early. Sorry, Chris. Florida upsets Tennessee, and that's where they lose.
Oh, that's a big one. They play in Gainesville?
No, they play in Tennessee.
I don't ever want to hear. Alan can't talk the rest of the year without Tennessee.
No, it's. I mean, it's just like we truthfully don't know with some of these big teams because, like you said, Mark, 69 against Chattanooga, 51 North Carolina State, Kent State 71 points. I mean, they're putting up huge numbers. You think this is the best offense in college? Then going against Oklahoma, they put up 25 points.
Yeah, and the question, right now they're the 4th highest ranked team in the SEC. We have 4 teams in the top 5 in the top 6. Are they better than Ole Miss? I mean, Ole Miss, you can say the same thing. They didn't really play anybody yet. But are they better? Like, that's what I'm saying. Are they what they say, the real UT? I mean, I don't know about that yet, but they're playing good. I'm going to give them their flowers there, but I want to see them. I don't want to crown them too early. I want to see them play against Bama and Georgia, which they played Bama first.
We get to see a Bama-Georgia matchup this Saturday night.
Tomorrow night we will be talking Georgia, Alabama. That's what we're talking tomorrow night after we do our predictions.
Saturday night.
College game day. And speaking of college, but one more team, the Michigan Wolverines did the right thing, in my opinion. They did bring in Alex Orji. If you ask College Football 25, he was supposed to be a starter this year. Don't know how the video game didn't know that. EA needs to get together.
You ask any Michigan fan, and he should have started. So, I mean, I don't blame EA.
But he looked good running the ball. They didn't really throw the ball as much like they normally don't. Shout out to Sharon Moore for making the adjustment. Hey, that's what you're coach for. You're supposed to make that adjustment. You're supposed to make the decision, the hard decisions. The running game, shout out to Mullins playing linebacker and fucking running back. Shout out to him, or safety, whatever position he was playing. Did this bring Michigan back into the conversation of, hey, we're a competitor in the Big Ten and the playoffs? Is this what needed to change the Michigan Wolverines season?
Hey, it's a head start. It's a good start.
I'm not a Michigan believer this year. Do they make the playoffs? Probably. Who do they play the rest of the year? They got a couple more.
Oregon and Ohio State, I think. Don't they still play Oregon?
If they lose those 2 games, they're out, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're out.
Yeah, so then they don't even make the playoffs then.
Well, the thing is, like, USC's defense wasn't terrible, but, like, they played good against LSU because LSU's offense isn't the same as Michigan's. Like, they're more pass-centric. Michigan's straight run. So, like, that's Big Ten football. And we'll see what USC can do down the line when they play these Big Ten schools. But, I mean, Michigan's defense gave up 24 points or whatever it was to USC. I mean, that's not Michigan defense neither. So, is their defense starting to slip a little bit? They gave up 31, which could have been more to Texas. Texas could have easily scored more if they didn't give up or stop playing. But I don't know, man. I don't know if Michigan's back yet, but like you said, Chris, good start. It's a good start for them. It's a different pace.
Yeah, no, it's a good start. I don't think Michigan's defense is as good as everybody hyped them up to be. And I think they're struggling with that.
What are you going to say, Tony?
So, well, once we're done with Michigan, before we get off, I got a couple things I want to talk to you gentlemen about.
Be like off air or on air?
No, on air. Oh, football.
We can move on.
Okay. So how do you guys feel about the self-proclaimed national champion UCF this week, going against Colorado at UCF?
Hey, I don't know if you saw the video. Oh, look at that. Already typed out. I don't know if you saw the video of Prime, but he was pissed off at the players this weekend at practice because I guess they were all hyped and they all thought they had a big one against Baylor, and he set them straight.
I'm a little pissed off, though, that it's a big noon kickoff and it's played at 3:30. I
was going to say, we got to talk about the game. Like, we can't talk about Colorado.
3:30, but it's a big noon kickoff. What are we doing here? They played Texas at noon against Michigan, and that was what's the big noon means fucking noon, not 3:30, but I think UCF's going to roll them over. I think
you really think they roll them over?
RG Harvey is going to run over RG Harvey is arguably one of the best running backs in college football right now. And this isn't because Luke's on the show and he's a UCF homer. RG Harvey is carrying this offense. Jefferson did look a little better, but
who's the favorite this week?
It's UCF by 11.
Is it them by 11?
No, Luke said it was change. 14.5.
Oh,
is the line now.
Yeah, Luke was talking about that. It's in the bounce house. It's in Orlando, right?
It's in the bounce house. Yeah. It's going to be a live one. It's going to be probably their most packed house game of the year.
This is the national championship game. Like they said, everyone that plays UC or Colorado, this is the CFP right here. It's the college football playoffs. And
UCF will probably claim the natty after this win.
How do you feel about the?
I know they beat the natty champs.
I know they got a second chance, and they came through number 10. Catching it in the end zone on the heave, but that first play, that guy's got to catch that ball. I mean, it was a perfectly placed. He falls into the end zone. How do you feel after that? If you're that receiver, like
devastated,
square in the pads, right? In the chest.
First off, I'm telling number 10, I'm offering him anything he wants for like a week because he saved him. He bailed him out, and when we watched that game, man, it was fucking wild. Like it was, and I was like, man, they're gonna blow it up, and rightfully so. You throw a Hail Mary, you know, you gotta fucking hype it up. But the fact that they did that and then won in overtime, it's crazy.
Twice. It should have worked twice.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I think Shador, I think the play call was amazing. Shador scrambles out to the left right away, and it's not a straight, like, technically a Hail Mary where everyone just runs straight. It was a perfect play call, too.
Yeah, but it also, they forced Shador to that side on purpose. They overloaded the left side so he couldn't go right.
Shout out to Travis Hunter, by the way, too. The man's a dog. Chris, I think you owe me an apology for not being what you said, a decent receiver. You said he wasn't that good at wide receiver coming into the season. You did say that.
I'm hoping
I did.
Okay. I'm hoping Weaver gets some looks. Colorado's receiver last year that's playing in the NFL now. He got a couple catches the past weekend and looked pretty good. He's an exclusive wide receiver. He's explosive. I don't even know. To be honest with you.
Isn't it? Weaver?
Cardinals? I think it was Cardinals.
Yeah, I think it's the Cardinals.
No,
and then I'm gonna hop again one more time. Baby McCaffrey looked good this weekend too.
He did.
Yeah, he did look good for the Commanders out there. And the McCaffrey brothers, man, they know how to ball. The father had a ball too back in the Broncos, a 2-time champion, Ed McCaffrey. So
hopefully, Baby McCaffrey has better muscles in the legs.
Is he officially done for the season yet?
100%. I was talking to
my specialist in Germany.
Yeah, no, I was talking to my wife about it today, and I saw a couple like doctors. They were talking about it. They said if your player's going overseas to see a specialty doctor, something's really fucked up. It's not a straightforward injury. Because if it was a straightforward injury, then you would just know. You wouldn't have to go see a specialist in Germany.
Of Christian McCaffrey. Da-na-na.
Yeah,
going overseas is crazy.
Yeah. Something's fucked up with his, what is it, tendonitis? Achilles?
People are trying to say it's an Achilles. They're trying to say it never was a calf, it's his Achilles.
Yeah. I don't think he comes back this year. Especially if the Niners start losing these games, there's no reason to rush him back if they're going to be off of playoff contention.
I'm just glad I picked up Jordan Mason in our league, Tony, that we do. I'm glad I was able to pick him up. I'm glad when Jake broke the news, no one is as quick as me to go fucking check shit out in that league. So I went and snatched him.
I'm glad that I drafted Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, it was really fucked up, the news not breaking that he wasn't going to play.
Shout out to the top two guys in the All About the Balls draft league or fantasy league top two guys were projected to be 1 and 2, by the way, Tony, when the season ended. Now, not looking so good for those guys.
I mean, injury bugs, that happens.
Luke's not injury bug, but
I'll give you mine. Mine is full injury bug.
Mostert's hurt. Yeah.
Mostert's hurt. Jaden Reed's out pretty much because of Jordan Love. That took 2 players out for me.
That's why you don't stack sometimes, man. Sometimes the stack rule gets you.
Well, you know what? Maybe Jalen Carter shouldn't fucking do illegal hits.
Speaking of illegal hits,
you don't even, if you want to bring it up, you can bring it up. But that was fully legal.
It was a fully legal hit.
It was fully legal.
That Saints hit,
fumble. Should have been a fumble.
I love the double stick. Yeah, Tony. So that we're talking the Saints hit where Devontae Smith was being dragged back as he's still trying to.
Oh yeah, and he got whacked from the.
Got whacked, but guess what?
It's I saw helmet to helmet.
It was not helmet to helmet.
Stop.
Shoulder pad to shoulder pad. Stop. The thing is they teach you in football to play till you hear a whistle, and which looked like a fumble, and they're like, well, he dove on him too. I was like, no, he dove for the ball. The ball got kicked around.
The ball was out.
He was out.
Well, he was also out. Smith was also out, but the ball was out.
I didn't see a spit, by the way. And if I'm missing it, someone needs to zoom in on that video. I had not seen a spit.
I did see Peyton Turner stand up, and I saw something come. I don't know if it's spit. I don't know if what, but
no, it's a legal hit.
If he did spit on him, hey, that is shitty. Okay,
I know we're calling out Luke and Allen. They can't defend themselves, but I've been saying it in the chat. So we've already roasted them. They say it's a legal hit, but it's unnecessary. So it's so they say it's a legal hit, but it's unnecessary, which makes it dirty. It was like, well, if it's a legal hit, it's I mean, whatever. They double standard it out. I was like, it can't be sorry. They said it's not a dirty hit, but it's unnecessary. It's like, no, and an unnecessary hit is a dirty hit. It's necessary. He dislogged the ball from the player. That's their job, and it's the ref's fault. It's the ref's fault. If anything, if you think he's got forward progress stop, then fucking blow the whistle.
These refs have been very inconsistent with the whistles this year.
I really did think it was going to be a flag because it's just like how the play came out. Because Devontae Smith completely stopped forward progress and he started going backwards. I was like, the play's done. And then
bam,
he got laid the fuck out. But I was like,
Bounty Gate.
I didn't hear a whistle.
Bounty Gate's back. Wasn't
the whistles have been really quick, and then also they've been letting some of these plays drag out.
Yeah, I mean
Chiefs Ravens week 1.
Yeah.
I'm not faulting the player though. I'm not going to fault the guy that put the hit on him. That's just there's no whistle. I mean, it's his job.
Anytime somebody gets knocked out like that, I expect laundry on the field, and there was none. So I was like, oh wow, okay.
No, I mean, I hate the Saints, and I'm defending them there. It's a legal hit. Which now, if he targeted, like if he launched his helmet into his helmet, okay, then yeah, that's what I saw.
I'm just saying.
That's what we're about to do to fucking Bijan this week.
I saw face mask go right into the ear hole.
Keep it clean, dude.
No, we're about to do the Bijan.
I got Atlanta by 14 this weekend.
Stop. The winner of that game is not blowing the other team out. It's going to be typically it's a close game. But Chris, Tony, man, tomorrow we're going to be back here. It sounds like Luke's going to be here tomorrow. We'll see if Doc
probably still sick of COVID or something.
I think he needs to go to a doctor, man. I've never seen someone so sick in a year.
He needs to eat more calories.
Yeah, maybe he needs to hire a cook. Maybe he needs to hire a cook. Though I don't think Jake will be on tomorrow. He's got some things going on. So, and it's church night for him typically too. But we will have our predictions tomorrow. Very tough week for most of us again last week. Very terrible week. Terrible year for me, honestly. After week 1, week 1 was good, and then weeks 2, 3, and 2 and 3 were just dog shit. Chris, you've been bad all year.
I think that's everybody though. The whole NFL season.
Yeah, it's tough, but Tony, he might be here tomorrow. We'll see. Look at that dog, dude.
Let me pet that dog.
That's a beautiful dog, dude. Can't wait to see him in a month from now. I get to see that dog.
Pet that dog.
Go, Mark. I can't wait to see your dog.
I don't have a dog, dude. I don't have.
You just celebrated your dog's birthday.
I hate you guys. You engage your assholes, dude. But no, I can't wait to do this tomorrow. We're going to talk not as many big games this week, but we have some storylines to talk about.
You guys are doing predictions tomorrow night on all the NFL slate?
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. We got to speed that up a little bit. Somehow that bitch runs 20 minutes. I don't get how we do it so slow. I mean, that's why I tried telling Doc, maybe we should every game we should break down by doing picks. That was the goal last year, but see how we can spin all the big storylines.
We also you need to implement in that when you guys do NFL predictions, right? We need to come together as a group and everybody put whatever it is, $2 or $5 on somebody's Hard Rock, and we bet that every week and see what it pays out. That's what we should do. It should do that.
Well, Tony, we do a betting thing every week. It's called Weekly Pick'ems, and I can send you the link.
That doesn't pay you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Tony,
if we have 4 of us, I'll do it.
If we win that week, we roll that money into the second week.
Hey, ask Alan, man. Alan has done it before. He had a 14-leg parlay in 2021. I don't remember the exact amount, but he was a free $65 bet. He hit that sucker. Obviously, hit it in the pick'ems too. Won some pretty good money. And shout out to the winner in Survivor. I did make $30 in Survivor this year, so it's good to have your league pay you. Treat the commissioner pretty good.
If there's 5 of us, $25 bet. We pick all the games. It wins. It pays out 50, 60 grand. No big deal.
Tony, I have a hard time getting $5 for these fucking streaming platforms I use. So it's going to be hard for me to get money from guys that are. Yeah, it is what it is.
I'll place the bet every week. How about that? We just come together as a group and pick. There's no if and ands. We got to pick it. All together and pick it.
Well, this week me and Chris got a hard time agreeing on one.
And then if I hit it, we can go on another. Yeah. How about that?
Don't ask me and Chris to land a game. You have to ask the other parties.
No,
for that.
you guys would have to put your pride aside and pick one.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard for some other guys on this podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But boys, great episode tomorrow night. We'll see who's in here. I love getting the text about 3 or 4 hours before. Don't know who's gonna pop in, pop out.
Yeah, I got a freaking 30-minute heads up tonight.
No, I texted you like 2-3 hours ago before the show started. As soon as Luke said he was out, I was already on the message for you.
See how messed up that is, Chris? I'm like a
side piece. I know. We're waiting. Get this boy in the intro.
We're waiting to get you. We have to get the contract signed. It seems like it might be kind of like a Jake, Tommy, or Allen situation where they came in December, January, and then we made them regulars. The thing is, you got to be able to do the whole draft night 4.5 hours long. You came in, you went to a Magic game, and
I was hammered already.
Yeah, dude was doing. No one would say how fast he was doing, but he was coming. He was getting home.
He wasn't driving.
Chris, remind you, it was like Mexico for us when we told the taxi driver, get us home as fast as possible.
Did you see the picture I put in the group chat of the Corvette I opened up this week on Sunday night?
Yeah, you pissed me off because that was after you made all that money when you called me off the Falcons' demise. And I was like, wrapping around a pole doesn't sound too bad at the moment, but
I opened that baby up finally.
No, but tomorrow we'll be live. I'm Mark Davis. That's Chris Meinhardt. That's Tony Cardozo. Shout out to the rest of the boys and shout out to you guys for listening. This is All About the Boss podcast. We will see you guys tomorrow night. Have a great night. We are out.